After hearing about the final reward, Wang Lin concealed the violent emotions in his heart, allowing his expression to return to calm, though a fierce determination burned beneath the surface. After waiting for the others to make their requests, he stepped forward, cupped his fists, and respectfully asked Master Flamespark to help a broken nascent soul reform its body and awaken. Master Flamespark believed the request was not difficult and turned to Old Man Xiang, saying that the Xiang family possessed an ancient secret technique capable of accomplishing such a feat. Old Man Xiang agreed to examine the nascent soul first. Wang Lin hesitated because Li Muwan was the most precious person in his life. But he ultimately took out the sealed nascent soul he had carefully preserved. During the first 3 days at the Thunder Celestial Temple, he had secretly removed Li Muwan's nascent soul from the heaven-defying bead and protected it with the annihilation restriction so it would not dissipate. All in preparation for this very moment. Opening the seal, he revealed Li Muwan's pale and sleeping nascent soul, sitting in meditation and surrounded by a holy glow. Although she remained unconscious, her gentle and kind nature was still evident. To Wang Lin, no beauty in the world could compare to her. Memories of the day she died in his arms resurfaced, along with the vow that had driven him across the all-heaven star system. Even if the heavens want you to die, I'll take you back. Shi Zifeng, who had secretly admired Wang Lin, finally understood that everything he had endured throughout the trials had been for another woman. Heartbroken, she shed tears, realizing Li Muwan possessed the greatest happiness by having someone willing to sacrifice everything for her. Qing Shui also looked at Li Muwan and was reminded of the woman he had once cherished, filling him with sorrow. After carefully examining Li Muwan's nascent soul, Old Man Zhang's smile disappeared, learning that she had remained in this state for nearly 700 years. He praised Wang Lin's effort in preserving her but explained that a nascent soul cultivator could not survive that long without a body, especially when her nascent soul was already dying. He advised Wang Lin to change his request because he could not save her. These words struck Wang Lin like a devastating blow, making him feel as though his entire world had collapsed. His hope faded as he stared at Li Muwan with overwhelming grief. Old Man Xiang further concluded that Li Muwan had originally died because her lifespan had ended. Wang Lin had extracted and nourished her nascent soul through a special method. But an accident during the final stage had left her unable to withstand the process. Although her soul had been preserved, she was already on the brink of true death. Old Man Xiang admitted that even with his abilities, he could not reverse this fate and could only help send her into reincarnation. Wang Lin staggered backward, coughed blood, and gazed at Li Muwan while countless memories flooded his mind. The unbearable pain brought tears to his eyes, something that had happened only a handful of times throughout his life. Yet his determination remained unshaken as he silently reaffirmed his promise to bring her back regardless of heaven's will. He sealed her nascent soul once more. After a long silence, Old Man Xiang suddenly revealed that one final possibility existed. The method required the ancient Shishi spell, which only the Xiang family ancestor in secluded cultivation could perform. Since Li Muwan's true problem was the exhaustion of her lifespan, the spell could only succeed if someone intimately connected to her transferred their own life force to her. The donor would permanently lose 90% of their lifespan in exchange for only a tiny chance of restoring her life. And even failure would not return the lost longevity. Old Man Xiang deliberately announced these conditions before everyone in the all-heaven star system, allowing all cultivators to hear the enormous price required for such a slim hope. Without any hesitation, Wang Lin immediately accepted. Looking through the sealed restriction toward Li Muwan, he softly agreed to sacrifice his own lifespan. Although asleep, Li Muwan seemed to hear his voice. Her soul trembled faintly as if trying to awaken, yet overwhelming exhaustion prevented her from opening her eyes. Wang Lin understood that lifespan originated from vitality, which increased alongside cultivation, explaining why powerful cultivators lived so long. Since Wang Lin had accepted the price, Old Man Xiang instructed him to follow him to planet Donghua after the celestial bestowment ceremony ended so he could seek the Xiang ancestors' assistance. Qing Shui volunteered to accompany Wang Lin, knowing dangers might arise during the journey and wishing to ensure the process proceeded safely. Wang Lin gratefully accepted his help. Afterward, the remaining participants made their own requests. Xu Ting and Nangang Han both chose to enter the treasure pavilion to study celestial spells. Once everyone received their rewards, The celestial bestowment officially concluded. Master Flamespark then rose into the air, laughed loudly, and called upon the gathered cultivators to join forces in opening the passage to the Alliance star system. Announcing that the Great War was about to begin, Master Flamespark floated in the sky and formed a seal. Black light emerged from his forehead and transformed into dozens of celestial continent fragments that filled the heavens, releasing an overwhelming pressure that forced every cultivator at the Thunder Celestial Temple to circulate their cultivation to resist it. The fragments divided the sky as rays of light shone through the gaps between them. Witnessing this, all cultivators in the All-Heaven star system trembled with excitement while Master Flamespark revealed the hatred he had suppressed for tens of thousands of years. As he spread his arms, the fragments slowly rotated around a central point, gradually accelerating until deafening rumbling and whistling sounds spread throughout the Thunder Celestial Temple and the surrounding regions. A massive vortex formed in the sky, creating a terrifying storm as clouds vanished and the starry sky seemed to be torn apart by invisible giant hands. The vortex expanded until it covered the entire sky above the Thunder Celestial Temple. It contained enough power to instantly kill Nirvana Scryer cultivators, and even Nirvana Cleanser cultivators could not survive inside it for long. As more power gathered within the vortex, explosive popping sounds echoed continuously, each one shaking the hearts and minds of cultivators throughout the All-Heaven star system like giant hammers striking their chests. The sounds came from the immense force repeatedly crashing against the spatial barrier. Master Flamespark then called upon the gathered cultivators for assistance. The old monsters seated on the prayer mats, including Blood God, all flew into the air, cast powerful spells, and poured them into the vortex, greatly increasing its strength. The rotational force reached its limit, drilling relentlessly into the void in an attempt to pierce the spatial barrier. Master Flamespark summoned the power of the Thunder Realm, causing thunder beasts to emerge from the celestial fragments. The beasts roared before transforming into bolts of lightning that charged into the center of the vortex, producing a tremendous explosion that enlarged the vortex even further and released a chilling aura. Li Yunzi charged into the vortex with a white glowing hand, causing a mirror-shattering sound before being forced back with a pale face. The Shengong family ancestor released a small flag into the vortex. Blood God attacked with a blood-red punch, and the Xian family ancestor, Gongsun, and numerous other old monsters all launched their strongest attacks. Endless explosions followed as the vortex continued expanding. Finally, Master Flamespark bit the tip of his tongue and spat out essence blood, which transformed into a blood mist and merged with the world. With bloodshot eyes, he shouted for the land of the celestial realm to open the heavens and split the earth. Countless illusory souls sealed within the celestial fragments emerged and entered the vortex, combining into an unimaginable force that contained a trace of G-realm power inherited from celestial lord Qing Shui. A bolt of red lightning carrying this G-realm power pierced deep into the vortex, causing the Thunder Celestial Temple to shake violently as the heavens changed color, and all cultivators across the All-Heaven star system witnessed the unforgettable sight through their transmission stones. The vortex trembled before forcibly tearing open a small crack in the spatial barrier. The crack rapidly expanded to more than 100 feet, its edges surrounded by black whirlwinds. Knowing the enormous effort required to open a path to the Alliance star system, Master Flamespark refused to let it close. He cast the Hold the Heavens spell, causing one celestial fragment to shrink before flying into the crack and expanding to keep it open. Although the fragment was crushed by the overwhelming force of the spatial barrier, it delayed the crack's closure long enough for more fragments to sacrifice themselves. One after another, they entered the crack, gradually preventing the barrier from repairing itself until the opening expanded to more than 1,000 feet wide. Seeing the massive passage remain open, the cultivators of the Thunder Celestial Temple and the entire All-Heaven star system were filled with killing intent. While the armies surrounding the temple all looked toward the sky, from the crack emerged an aura unfamiliar to the All-Heaven star system but extremely familiar to Wang Lin, the aura of the Alliance star system. He also saw the familiar stars beyond the opening. Suddenly, an ancient roar erupted from within the crack, sending out a powerful shockwave. A gigantic hand emerged, grabbed one of the celestial fragments, and crushed it. Wang Lin immediately realized the hand did not belong to an ancient god because it lacked an ancient god aura. The giant hand then reached toward the 1,000-foot crack in an attempt to force it shut. At that critical moment, a mysterious blurred figure silently appeared outside the crack, seemingly forcing itself into existence. Wang Lin's mind trembled as he recognized the figure as the same mysterious person who had previously stopped the battle between Qing Shui and Blood God. Qing Shui's eyes turned cold as the figure calmly pointed one finger at the giant hand. An overwhelming surge of source origin energy burst forth, making Wang Lin feel as though the entire world had frozen except for that single finger. The finger struck the giant arm, instantly causing it to collapse back into pure source origin energy. A majestic voice then echoed from within the crack, declaring that opening the spatial barrier had violated the laws of the ancient celestial realm before fading away. The mysterious figure calmly replied that he wanted to see whether the ancient celestial realm truly existed. Wang Lin silently gazed at the familiar starry sky of the Alliance star system beyond the crack, recalling that he had left planet Suzaku a very long time ago. Master Flamespark tore open the passage to the Alliance star system, causing a massive crack to spread across the starry sky. Cultivators throughout the All-Heaven star system watched with greed as he declared the beginning of the war between the two star systems. He ordered the Eastern, Southern, Western, and Northern armies to invade immediately and seize 3 cultivation planets within 3 days to establish forward bases. 4 armies of 10,000 cultivators each charged into the crack with overwhelming killing intent, followed by the Thunder Celestial, Vice Thunder Celestial, and the 108 Celestials carrying their command flags. As the battle cry echoed across the battlefield, Master Flamespark activated a massive transfer array by shattering the sound transmission stones across every cultivation planet. Countless cultivators were transported to the crack and eagerly entered the Alliance star system. Beginning a catastrophe, Master Flamespark personally crossed into the Alliance star system, revealing immense hatred as he declared that he had returned for Zhang Xuanzi. A gigantic crack opened in the western region of the Alliance star system, allowing endless all-heaven cultivators to pour into Alliance territory. At that moment, a cultivation army that had just received approval to establish a rank 6 cultivation country encountered the invasion. Their leader immediately ordered everyone to scatter and retreat independently to planet Zonting before fleeing himself. Although shocked, the Alliance cultivators remained calm rather than panicked. Having survived countless slaughters, they instinctively scattered without concern for one another, relying on their own abilities to escape. Some even deliberately attempted to lure pursuers so they could ambush them and seize their treasures. Since the invading all-heaven cultivators lacked organization, many chased after fleeing Alliance cultivators individually. In one encounter, an Alliance cultivator intentionally pretended to be severely injured after being struck by a spell. When the pursuing all-heaven cultivator approached carelessly, the Alliance cultivator suddenly counterattacked, killing him and escaping with his storage bag. Similar ambushes occurred throughout the battlefield. Wang Lin observed the endless stream of cultivators entering the passage but chose not to join the first assault. Old Man Shang descended from the Thunder Celestial Temple and told Wang Lin that, considering his personality, he would not wish to participate in the initial wave. Wang Lin agreed, believing caution was essential in such a war even aside from Li Muwan's situation. Qing Shui stood up, accompanied Wang Lin, and the two followed Old Man Shang. Li Yunzi hesitated but remained focused on the crack leading to the Alliance star system. Old Man Shang led Wang Lin and Qing Shui toward the eastern domain. After several days of travel, he warned Wang Lin that reaching his current cultivation level had not been easy and advised him to carefully consider whether everything was worthwhile. He also admitted that he was not certain his ancestor would agree to help, urging Wang Lin to prepare himself mentally. Wang Lin calmly acknowledged the warning. Their destination was the mysterious planet Donghua, whose location constantly shifted throughout the all-heaven star system. Old Man Shang repeatedly used a red jade to determine its position. Eventually, Wang Lin saw the enormous dark yellow cultivation planet, larger than planet Tian Yun, covered with countless gigantic holes and surrounded by dozens of smaller planets. Powerful restrictions flashed across its surface, making unauthorized entry impossible. Old Man Shang summoned one of the orbiting smaller planets, which transformed into a transfer array. The three entered it and instantly arrived on planet Donghua. Upon arriving, Wang Lin sensed a violent atmosphere unlike that of any other cultivation planet. Rather than visiting the Shang family estate, Old Man Shang led them toward the far western region. where a vast graveyard stretched across the land. The ground was stained dark red with blood. Severed limbs lay scattered everywhere, and bald vultures fed on corpses without fear. As they advanced deeper, the severed bodies disappeared, replaced by endless densely packed graves. Wang Lin, whose soul-refining cultivation made him extremely sensitive to souls, was shocked to discover countless fragmented souls lingering there. Even the billion souls once contained within his soul flag were insignificant compared to the number gathered in this place. He realized that absorbing these souls would allow him to instantly complete the preparation of his soul flag. Old Man Shang explained that the western region of planet Donghua was a forbidden area where one of the Shang family's final ancestors was cultivating in seclusion. Qing Shui silently observed the surroundings while the group continued deeper. The soil gradually turned completely black, devoid of any vitality, resembling the land of the dead. Standing there, Wang Lin immediately felt his life force being drained by the ground. Realizing that prolonged exposure would eventually consume all of his vitality, hidden beneath the earth, he sensed an incomparably terrifying death aura powerful enough to destroy even the heavens themselves. Old Man Shang stopped, respectfully bowed toward the empty black plain, and announced, "Shang family member Shang Yundong requests to meet the ancestor." After Wang Lin, under the identity of Shu Mu, arrived at planet Donghua with Qing Shui and Shang Yundong, the earth suddenly shook violently as an immense wave surged from deep underground. The tremors spread across the entire planet, and an ancient voice echoed through heaven and earth, carrying an aura so ancient that it seemed to come from the cultivation world of countless ages ago. Qing Shui silently observed the phenomenon with his crimson right eye, while Shang Yundong respectfully addressed the hidden Shang family ancestor. He explained that the war between the All-Heaven star system and the Alliance star system had already begun and reminded the ancestor that Shu Mu had earned first place in the celestial title competition, granting him one promise from the Shang family. However, Shu Mu's request exceeded Shang Yundong's authority, so he hoped the ancestor would personally perform the Qi Shi spell. Immediately after hearing this, the ancestor released an incomparably powerful divine sense that completely locked onto Wang Lin. Wang Lin felt unprecedented pressure but forced himself to remain calm and not retreat. The source origin energy hidden within his third eye automatically spread throughout his body, preventing the ancestor from fully seeing through his secrets. After a brief inspection, the divine sense withdrew, and the ancestor ordered Wang Lin to descend alone into the underground world. Shang Yundong was relieved that the ancestor had accepted, since he had only been half confident the request would even be acknowledged. Before Wang Lin departed, Qing Shui calmly warned that if anyone from the Shang family dared harm Wang Lin, rivers of Shang blood would flow across planet Donghua. Although spoken softly, his words contained terrifying killing intent, leaving Shang Yundong with nothing to say. Wang Lin silently expressed sincere gratitude toward Qing Shui, adding him to the short list of people he truly respected throughout his life. Alongside Situ, Zhou Yi, and Dun Tian, after bowing to both Qing Shui and Shang Yundong, Wang Lin entered the enormous gully. The underground passage descended endlessly into darkness. As Wang Lin continued downward, he discovered that the walls were smooth and completely devoid of life. Every step brought increasingly terrifying death aura that gradually became almost tangible. The oppressive aura surrounded him like freezing wind trying to extinguish a tiny flame. Ordinary cultivators would have had their bodies stiffen and their lives endangered almost immediately. But Wang Lin had cultivated the life and death domain during the first cultivation step and had long mastered the underworld ascension method. His profound understanding of death aura allowed him to circulate his origin energy while yin and yang fishes formed around his body, pushing away the invading death energy and allowing him to continue descending safely. After traveling downward for a long time, the death aura became so concentrated that even the rotating yin and yang fishes slowed under its pressure. Eventually, Wang Lin landed at the bottom and discovered a completely dark tunnel where even his cultivation could only distinguish vague outlines. The ancient voice ordered him to proceed. Without hesitation, Wang Lin advanced through the silent passage for another several minutes until he reached its end. The sight before him caused even Wang Lin's composure to shatter. Endless human skulls filled an unimaginably vast underground space, stretching beyond the limits of his vision. The countless skulls formed an endless sea while violent death aura howled among them like a storm. Wang Lin instinctively stepped backward as chills ran through his entire body. The overwhelming number of skulls and the suffocating atmosphere created a horrifying scene unlike anything he had ever witnessed. At the center of the sea of skulls stood a platform supporting an ancient yellow coffin. Although parts of the coffin had already decayed, it emitted a nearly insane aura that dominated the entire underground world. The voice from within the coffin asked Wang Lin's name, suppressing the shock in his heart. Wang Lin respectfully introduced himself as Xu Mu. The ancestor confirmed that Wang Lin wished to use the Qi Shi spell and declared that the Shan family's promise alone was insufficient payment. He demanded half of Wang Lin's life force as the true price. As the ancestor's divine sense spread, every skull in the endless sea suddenly lit up with ghostly flames inside their empty eye sockets. Countless pairs of glowing eyes simultaneously focused upon Wang Lin, and under that unimaginable pressure, his vitality rapidly drained away. Half of his black hair instantly turned snow white, and his youthful appearance visibly aged into that of a middle-aged man. Although his cultivation remained unchanged, an unprecedented weakness filled his entire body. The ancestor then ordered Wang Lin to produce the person he wished to save. Wang Lin carefully removed the restriction sphere containing Li Muwan's nascent soul from his storage bag. But before he could even hold it, an overwhelming strand of death aura snatched the sphere and pulled it toward the center of the death storm. The moment Li Muwan was taken, Wang Lin completely forgot the enormous cultivation gap separating him from the Shan ancestor. His eyes turned blood red, and the source origin energy within his third eye erupted as he desperately rushed forward while roaring in anger, demanding to know what the ancestor intended to do. The ancestor responded with a cold snort and sent another strand of death aura toward Wang Lin. Refusing to retreat, Wang Lin immediately opened his third eye completely. Brilliant red light burst forth and struck the incoming death aura, instantly causing it to collapse. Wang Lin continued charging toward Li Muwan, but the ancestor calmly stopped him, declaring that he had already accepted half of Wang Lin's life force and was merely preparing to perform the Qi Shi spell. Wang Lin could only stop and stare coldly at the ancient coffin. Under the ancestor's control, the restriction sphere surrounding Li Muwan shattered, allowing her broken nascent soul to float freely in the air without suffering damage. After carefully examining it, the ancestor immediately realized that her nascent soul had completely lost its vitality long ago and had only been forcibly preserved until now. He explained that this was precisely why Wang Lin had come seeking the Qi Shi spell. The ancestor admitted that if he had remained at his peak, he could have completely restored Li Muwan's damaged nascent soul and even awakened her consciousness. However, in his current weakened state, he possessed only a 30% chance of successfully reviving her. To prepare for the spell, the surrounding death aura once again enveloped Wang Lin and extracted additional strands of vitality directly from his lifespan. Wang Lin did not resist, willingly sacrificing everything for Li Muwan. His remaining black hair rapidly turned completely white before falling away. His body withered, his skin became covered in deep wrinkles, and his appearance transformed from middle-aged into that of an extremely old man. With only faint traces of his former face remaining, his eyes dimmed as weakness overwhelmed him. At that moment, Wang Lin vaguely sensed an invisible force calling to him from the void. Having cultivated for over 1,000 years, he immediately understood what it was: the summons of the heavens' reincarnation cycle. Just as Li Muwan had once reached the end of her lifespan, Wang Lin now stood on the same path. He clearly realized that once his remaining lifespan was exhausted, he too would inevitably enter reincarnation and die. Wang Lin used the Qi Shi spell in an attempt to revive Li Muwan by sacrificing his own life force. The death aura surrounding him continuously absorbed his vitality and transferred it into Li Muwan's nascent soul. The Shan family ancestor explained that the Qi Shi spell lasted 7 days and required exponentially more life force each day, with each day consuming 100 times more vitality than the previous one. Although the spell could defy the heavens and revive the dead, Wang Lin's life force was only enough to sustain the first 2 days. By the third day, Li Muwan's condensing nascent soul stopped improving because there was no longer enough life force to continue. As her nascent soul began to dissipate once more, Wang Lin calmly requested that more of his lifespan be absorbed, remembering Li Muwan's unwavering devotion and the centuries she had waited for him because of a single promise. He realized she had always been the only woman who had entered his heart during his 1,000 years of cultivation. Even if countless times more of his own life force had to be exchanged for a trace of hers. He accepted it without regret. His body rapidly aged. Wrinkles covered his face, and he sensed the heavenly summons growing closer as nearly all his vitality was consumed. At that moment, an immense burst of life force erupted from Wang Lin, astonishing the Shang family ancestor. The ancestor emerged from the heaven avoiding coffin as a dried corpse. His eyes filled with death aura as he stared at Wang Lin. Meanwhile, Wang Lin's original body, hidden within a cultivation sect in the Alliance star system, silently allowed its own life force to drain away, supplying vitality to his avatar. Even the ancient god body eventually reached its limit. The transferred vitality allowed Li Muwan's nascent soul to completely reform by the 4th day, removing all traces of death aura. However, Wang Lin exhausted all of his remaining life force before the 5th day, leaving only a faint spark of vitality within Li Muwan that was insufficient to awaken her. The Shang family ancestor declared that Wang Lin simply lacked enough life force to fully revive her. Before leaving, Wang Lin placed numerous restrictions around Li Muwan's nascent soul to slow the decay of that remaining vitality. After returning from the ravine, Qing Shui silently observed Wang Lin's greatly aged appearance, while Shang Yundong calmly watched without surprise. Wang Lin carefully returned Li Muwan's nascent soul to her body and asked Qing Shui to leave with him. Shang Yundong remarked that although he had used Wang Lin, he had never hidden the truth that reviving Li Muwan required an immense amount of vitality. So neither of them owed the other anything. While traveling through the starry sky, Wang Lin showed Qing Shui the heaven-avoiding coffin and asked if he recognized it. Qing Shui admitted he had never seen it before but sensed powerful celestial spiritual energy and a unique law within it, concluding it was a celestial realm treasure with healing abilities. Wang Lin sighed, explaining that although he believed it could heal, he still did not know how to use it. Qing Shui then told Wang Lin that although he had failed to enter the celestial pool, he had still passed the trial, since Qing Shui's future journey into the Alliance star system would be extremely dangerous. Wang Lin would have to rely on himself from then on. Qing Shui transmitted the complete inheritances of the celestial spells Summon the Rain and Magical Arsenal directly into Wang Lin's mind. A true inheritance reserved only for direct disciples, allowing Wang Lin to comprehend them completely without lengthy cultivation. Qing Shui reflected that he had originally helped Wang Lin only to repay his master's request and had been disappointed that Wang Lin failed to enter the celestial pool, believing their karma had ended. However, witnessing Wang Lin willingly sacrifice nearly all of his life force for the woman he loved reminded Qing Shui of his own tragic past and the death of his beloved. His attitude toward Wang Lin completely changed, replacing obligation with genuine care. Finally, Qing Shui left behind the celestial origin energy he had injected into Wang Lin instead of retrieving it. The energy circulated through Wang Lin's body before condensing into a golden bead that settled inside his origin soul, allowing him to use celestial spells despite never entering the celestial pool. Qing Shui told Wang Lin that the celestial origin energy he left behind was only a limited gift for self-defense. Together with the Summon the Rain crystal, it would be enough to protect Wang Lin unless he encountered the strongest experts of the Alliance star system. Wang Lin immersed himself in comprehending the Summon the Rain spell and the magical arsenal. Qing Shui, realizing Wang Lin had lost too much life force, admitted he could not heal him because all of his techniques were designed for battle. The only non-combat spell he possessed was Devour, which he had learned from their master and previously used in the Thunder Celestial Realm. Although the technique could easily be abused, Qing Shui decided to pass it on, warning Wang Lin to use it only as a last resort. He then drew a bloody rune with his own essence blood and placed it on Wang Lin's chest. The rune concealed the damage caused by Wang Lin's severe loss of life force, restoring his youthful appearance except for his white hair, but it could not replenish his life force or repair his soul. Before leaving, Qing Shui warned Wang Lin that restoring the Ji realm was connected to divine retribution and instructed him not to pursue that path before reaching the Nirvana Shatterer stage. After Qing Shui departed, Wang Lin silently thanked him. Instead of returning immediately to the Thunder Celestial Temple, Wang Lin merged with the world and found a deserted planet. He created a cave, stationed Ta Shan outside as a guard, and took out the restriction ball containing Li Muwan's nascent soul. Looking at the faint trace of life remaining within her, he vowed that he was willing to sacrifice nearly all of his own life if it meant giving her even the slightest chance to survive. Although Li Muwan could not awaken, tears formed in her nascent soul before disappearing, leaving only overwhelming sorrow. Wang Lin summoned the heaven-defying bead and placed her nascent soul inside, only to discover that even there her soul continued to slowly dissipate. Determined to save her, Wang Lin took out the heaven-avoiding coffin. After struggling with his decision, he gently placed Li Muwan's nascent soul inside. The mysterious power within the coffin immediately enveloped her, nearly causing her soul to collapse. Fortunately, the tiny strand of life force she had obtained prevented her destruction. A five-colored light filled the coffin, and Wang Lin realized that without that sliver of life, the coffin would have completely destroyed her soul. The coffin gradually created red threads outlining her body before condensing a complete skeleton and eventually restoring her entire physical body. Li Muwan appeared peacefully asleep inside the crystal coffin, breathing as if alive. Seeing her restored body, Wang Lin broke into tears, believing all his sacrifices had finally been worthwhile. 3 days later, Wang Lin left the deserted planet carrying Li Muwan inside the heaven-avoiding coffin and headed back toward the Thunder Celestial Temple, softly telling her that they were finally returning home. Meanwhile, during those few weeks, the Alliance star system descended into chaos as the All-Heaven Cultivator army invaded from the western regions. Planet after planet fell before their advance, forcing local cultivators to retreat. Surprisingly, the Cultivation Alliance made no effort to resist or organize a large-scale counterattack. Even Master Flamespark and the All-Heaven experts found this silence suspicious, since they would never have allowed an enemy to establish a foothold under similar circumstances. Even stranger, every occupied cultivation planet was only rank 6, while not a single rank 7 cultivation planet appeared. The mysterious behavior of the Cultivation Alliance filled the invaders with unease. Although the All-Heaven forces appeared victorious, the battles themselves were far more difficult than expected. The Alliance cultivators displayed exceptional combat experience, ruthless killing methods, ingenious battle strategies, and countless powerful treasures. Their combat ability far exceeded expectations, causing severe losses for the invaders. The All-Heaven cultivators gradually realized that if both sides possessed equal cultivation levels, they would likely lose. Every Alliance cultivator fought with the skill and brutality of elite warriors from planet Donghua. At that moment, a violent aura suddenly erupted from an abandoned planet in the Western Alliance star system. The entire planet shook violently as if it were about to collapse. Amid the explosions, an excited and arrogant laugh echoed through the sky. A ragged, filthy cultivator burst out from underground, his eyes shining brilliantly despite his miserable appearance. He loudly complained that the women of planet Feng Luan had forced him into prolonged closed-door cultivation and driven him into hiding for countless years, proudly declaring that he had successfully broken through to the early stage of Nirvana Scryer. He swore to return to planet Feng Luan, become its king, and settle all his old grudges.